I'm Lori Duchek, an Information Officer with the Regional Emergency Operations Center, and today I'm joined by Incident Commander Daniel Klein, who is one of the people that's working very hard on the Lladnar Creek fire south of Sparwood. So we wanted to come to you today and just provide you with an update, a bit of a recap on the fire, and I guess I'll just turn things over to you, and if you can just provide us with an update.
Yeah, you bet. So Lladnar Creek fire was a fire that started on the afternoon of Friday, July 21st. It was a ridgetop, high elevation fire that upon arrival was about 2 to 3 hectares in size. Very difficult access for IA crews and very challenging terrain to actually manage a fire in. So we weren't able to get crews in there off the bat, and within the first 24 hours it had grown to 10 hectares and beyond our IA crews' capacity to manage. So the fire has continued to be in this place where we've monitored for a couple days, just seeing ridgetop growth, and part of that is that it's been in such challenging terrain that we haven't been able to get in there with crews. Now, the management on that is really tricky. We need to wait till the fire gets in a place where we can have crews in there safely. And unfortunately, on an incident like that, the only place where it presents a logical place for us to start managing is at the bottom of the slope, right where the BC Hydro lines are. So we currently have crews mobilized over there. We have a 20-person BCWS crew that's working with heavy equipment, reopening the roadways along the transmission lines, and starting to establish control lines at the base of the slope above some critical values, including residents at the bottom of that slope, and then residents that are in the Sparwood Heights area. So we're mobilizing equipment over there. We are mobilizing crews over there, and we are starting to come up with logical and safe management plans for that incident. Fire behavior, it's challenging, right? So it's rank 1, rank 2, but then in the afternoon through peak burning, and especially with the wind that comes through that valley, we are getting an increase in fire behavior. Pockets of rank 3, little sections of rank 4 with the winds, and I know that people in the community have been seeing that, especially in the nighttime. It can look really threatening. And it's just this unfortunate reality that we find ourselves in, that we have to be in this monitoring period until it gets to this place that we can action it. And what we're trying to do is really make sure that the plans are in place so that when it does come to a place that we can start to manage, that we are well equipped for that, well prepared, and have the plans in place to be successful in managing it.
So one of the things that I notice on fires, and this is a really good example because it is so highly visible to the community, is that just as you mentioned, it can seem very intimidating and daunting when you see it in that late afternoon, early evening, and things really pick up. Perhaps you could just give us a quick explanation for what the peak burning period is and why we see that at that time of day.
Yeah. So our peak burning is the term we use for the period of time in the afternoon when we expect the highest fire behavior and fire activity. That is due to the afternoon, typically between 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock, but really depends on time of year, winds, weather. But that's when our temperatures are the highest. Our relative humidity is the lowest. Typically we have more wind in the afternoon, and that's when everything aligns to just have good burning conditions, right? And so that's why we'll see increased fire behavior in the afternoon, and then why overnight and in the morning, when our RHs are really high and our temperatures are low and we don't typically have as much wind, that we'll see decreased fire activity.
Super. So currently the weather forecast cooling off for the next couple of days here. Will be windy today. I'd imagine that you are keeping an eye on all of that in Sparwood as you keep an assessment on that fire, keeping eyes on things there.
Yeah, and so a little bit of a cool down today, but we are expecting it's going to be a quick rebound into hot, dry weather and sustained active burning conditions. We are monitoring that fire daily. We are going to be moving more BCWS resources out there today to provide coverage not only during the day but through the night, and really starting to actively engage on that incident, on preparing and making sure that our machine guards are in place, and making sure as this thing comes down slope that we can contain it at areas that are safe to do so. And especially in light of what the BC Wildfire Service has gone through over the last 3 weeks with Deb and Gale passing away, and some of the risks with danger trees and steep slopes and rolling debris. We really need to make sure that we're putting our crews in places where they're safe and where we can successfully contain fires. And unfortunately, in this incident, the only place we can do that is at the bottom of the slope, pushing machine guards along the BC Hydro right away.
And I think that's a really good point. Safety obviously is the paramount concern for everyone involved. And hopefully this explanation will help people understand kind of the tactic and the strategy that you're employing. Certainly this is the first update that we're doing, but we intend to do more for you to bring you to the fire line, or I guess vice versa. So we just really appreciate your time today. This is Incident Commander Daniel Klein. He is one of the ones working on the Lladnar Creek Fire in Sparwood. A reminder, the evacuation alerts do remain in effect. If you want more information, you can visit sparwood.ca, and we really just thank you for your time again today.
Yeah, you're welcome.